Whiners, don't look at me. If you're watching on YouTube, stop. Look at these nails. A few episodes ago, I talked about how amazing my nails looked and how I went longer than I normally did. And wow, I was looking fire, fire, fire. And I bit them all off. I haven't done this since I was 16, 17 years old. I have no nails. These are my real nails. They're weak. They're tiny. They're rigid. They're scary. It's kind of like a backwards French tip situation we have going on right now. What happened was, if you follow me on Instagram at Adultish Wines, one fell off. I went and I got it fixed. No problem. I got it fixed. I mean, it was a problem because I was pissed because I hate the nail salon. Who likes the nail salon? It's a waste of my time. I can't do anything with my hands. I can't be productive. I've got weird techs touching my feet, which I don't like. Like, no. Okay. So I went back and I got it fixed. It was complimentary. Thank you so much for the service. Love that. Thank you. Then 4 days later, another nail popped off. I was at work, click, click, clacking on the keyboard. A nail popped off. And I said, watch me. I bit the rest of them. But I've been seeing, like, the trend right now is, like, doing your own nails at home, whether it's Gel X or, like, press-ons, and I'm about it. So, like, I'm waiting on my materials to come. I've ordered them on Amazon. I've ordered them. So right now you just are seeing what happened between me biting them all off at work. Can you imagine being a coworker and seeing me gnaw my nails off at my work desk? Disgusting. But I did it, and I'm not proud of it. But anyway, I have to call out that elephant in the room. I feel hideous. Who am I without hoops and a long nail? I don't even know this person. I'm going to try to get to know her, though. So we're going to keep them natural. We're going to try. I don't know. Made sure to put my rings on to keep them dressed up. We're going to see. But another thing that it's finally time I update y'all on is the last guy that I dated. I've talked about him in a few episodes before, and I was really sharing some like lovely positive things about him, and it was true. And as you guys know, like, I don't really talk to you about, I don't really like give all the details until it's like done or we're a fish. And him and I are certainly not a fish. We're not a fish. We're not official. We lovingly, adoringly nicknamed him Obedient Guy. And so I have to tell you, it's time that I tell you about him. But thankfully, at Feed My Curiosity on Instagram recommended that I drink this Hidden Valley. That sounds like something else I know. Hidden Jewel Pinot Noir. She's a big fan of Pinot Noir. I'm not typically, but it's pretty good. I think when I was young, I thought that Pinot Noir was light in alcohol percentage or something. Because I'm a lush. And it's just lovely. It's just like, it's a vibe. I'm into it. Welcome to Adultish Wine's podcast, where we're grown enough to pay bills, but messy enough to still text our exes. Grab a glass of wine and let's get adultish. Okay, before I tell you about Obedient Guy, let's get into the wines of the week from the Whiners. One is I deleted the dating app and re-downloaded it 3 hours later. I feel you on this. If I get bored, which by the way, I don't get bored. I'm so busy, I'm not bored. But like, if there's a gap in something I'm doing, I'm re-downloading the dating app. I've stood the test of time for a while. I haven't been on like the typical dating apps. I'm only on Raya right now. I haven't been on Hinge or Bumble in many, many months, probably 6 or 8 months at this point. But catch me when I'm weak enough and I will re-download it. So I completely feel you. You get in this mode where you're like, F this, I'm too good for this, or we've seen each other before, or let me just try meeting someone in real life. You get this like false sense of hope. It's false. Get on the dating app. Unless you're like out there meeting people. Are you out there networking? Are you out there at bars or events approaching people? If you're not, then you need to be on the dating app. You have to be. Like, that's the answer. But I get it. Like, just make it and don't do it when you're bored. That's the answer. You should do it when you're being intentional, when you have time to make conversation and build connections or, potential relationships with these people. So Don't re-download it when you're bored. Re-download it with a purpose. Oh my God, purpose. That's giving me flashbacks to the obedient guy. I'll get to that in a second. Okay, the next one of the week is I wrote a paragraph to the guy I'm dating, and all he responded with was, "Damn, that's crazy." Okay, I do like this wine. Noted. Why? Okay, so I'm a paragraph texter. I will text you. Like, texting is easier for me, or voice to text, or even voice memoing. If I'm writing you a paragraph about what I just did or something that I'm interested in, or you ask me a question and I answered and you say, "Damn, that's crazy." Did you hear me? Do you have any follow-up questions? Like, do you want to participate in this two-way conversation at all? Or is it just, you're just like in the crowd? Are you just a fan? Like, speak up. Let me hear your thoughts. Oh, where did you go for that? Oh, who was the friend that you went with? Like, we're in this society where we just don't speak. We're all hiding behind I almost said our mobile phones, like we're in 1980, 1990. Speak up, have a conversation, go back and forth. Like, don't make me be the one to ask you the questions all the time. It should be very equal. So if I write you a paragraph about the vacation I just had, or maybe a disagreement I got into with my girlfriend, or something that my sister said to me that really struck a chord, at least act interested. I'm with you. That's a wine for me, for sure.
Whiners, as y'all know, sometimes we talk about hard things on the pod, and the stigma around mental health is one of them. That's why I'm so happy to have BetterHelp Therapy as a sponsor. There's no shame in the therapy game. You don't need to have a serious clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety to go to therapy. You can just be a regular human with regular humanish to figure out. Therapy can even just help you with everyday tools for everyday life. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and accessible. I know finding a therapist can be the most intimidating step of starting this journey, and the benefit of BetterHelp is that it's online, remote, and you get matched with a professional therapist within days. Use the link in the description of this episode or go to betterhelp.com/adultish. It's so easy, you will not regret it. Don't be scared. If you don't love the first therapist you're matched with, you can easily switch. That's one of the things I was worried about. When I tell my whole life story to one person, I have to switch to another one because I'm not really getting along. So this one, you don't have to worry about the network, the insurance, blah, blah, blah. So if you need an unbiased professional to vent to, or whether you have anxiety, PTSD, depression, or family issues, I think BetterHelp is a great place to start. Click the link in the episode description or go to betterhelp.com/adultish for 10% off your first month. Love you, Whiners.
Okay, Whiners, I have to tell you. I was dating a guy for a couple months. At the end, near the end, because it didn't last much longer after this conversation, we had a conversation about obedience in relationships, and it was off-putting. We agreed to disagree on the actual conversation, but let me tell you how quickly it went downhill fast from there. It was like you were on rollerblades and you didn't know how to use them without brakes, going down like the highest hill you would go down as a kid. Like, there was no controlling this fucking disaster after the obedience conversation. And like I said, I do feel like I was pretty understanding about it. We agreed to disagree. Oh, let me start from the beginning. We met on Raya, which, like, so far, my review on Raya for a dating app is like, it's very like industry people focused, or people have real jobs. It seems like the quality of people is a bit better. So like, start off with good hopes, right? He was super persistent. I was responsive, but I was actually I was interested in another human who I met not on Raya. We weren't serious, but I was just like not really totally interested in participating in another man. Like, I was like really focusing on the one. He was persistent though. He kept saying, so he didn't live here, and he kept saying, "Hey, I'm in town." Whenever he was in town, he wanted to take me out, take me for drinks, take me for dinner, whatever I had time for, which like it was flattering. Eventually, like maybe a couple months into him messaging me, I ended up saying like, "Hey, I'm really busy. I'm sorry I can't." And he was like, "Can I just meet you for 2 minutes?" I'm like, Okay, fine. So I ended up, I almost said I ended up allowing him. I ended up inviting him to meet me after a networking event that I had. And I said, hey, I'm with a few people, but you're welcome to join us, at dinner afterwards. We're gonna go get food. He was a charmer. And if you know me, that's the way to my heart. Like, if I can bring you around people and you at least act like you enjoy it, wow. Like, love that. Made me very horny mentally, of course. Um, he involved himself, but he wasn't weird. Like, he was so into, or again, like, he didn't know these people. He didn't know me. He was into getting to know me and the people I was with. And it was really flattering. Past that, like, he was quirky, which I love. Like, so these are all good qualities. It seems like he genuinely cared about asking me questions. Like, actually, based on that wine of the week that we just talked about, where you say, like, damn, that's crazy, and you have nothing else to say. It was really refreshing that this guy was really interested in me. He asked me specific questions about the podcast or about my work or about the people I was with. He even followed it up a couple weeks after saying, hey, he mentioned the friend. Hey, did your friend basically, she was doing something. Did your friend ever do that thing that she said she was going to do? That was so interesting. And I'm like, oh my God, he's paying attention. Hair flip. What? So that was, all good signs. I was enjoying it. He was super sarcastic. I keep saying was, like, he's dead. He's not. I don't like to say people are past tense. He in talking to him, he was very sarcastic, which I liked. I'm into. But it progressed into like this very forceful conversation of like when we would converse, when we would speak, not conversate, because y'all let me know that was not a word. When I almost said it again though, that's how natural it is to me. I just did not know, and thank God for you guys. Um, Gotta keep me in my toes, whiners. So it became this very like forceful conversation. So I literally in an episode, whiners, I talked to you about this. I said like I had a hard conversation with someone that I'm interested in, and he was asking me my purpose in life, and it was uncomfortable for me because I had to like really think hard about what my purpose was, and I gave my answer, and I portrayed it to you the same way that I portrayed it to myself, which was he was like gently pushing for more, me to think more about the situation and like push my boundaries and test myself. And like now looking back, it was not that. It's just like he didn't like my answer and he wanted it to be diferente. He wanted it to be very different. He wanted my answer to be like, I owe my life to God and the Church of Jesus Christ and bow, and like nothing else like matters except for like I'm living for this thing. And like it's just not me saying that I wanted to be a good person and help people and entertain people and make people laugh and connect in a connection between people, like just like wasn't enough for him. And like I guess maybe that was me not paying attention. I thought that I was. I don't know. I am proud of myself for trying new things and working through the uncomfortable instead of like piecing out right then and there. Um so eventually I started to notice that he was picking apart everything. I would say the purpose conversation is one of them, but like I was in the middle of moving. So I would say he would ask me what I was eating multiple times, and I would say like a sandwich, a sandwich, a sandwich, a sandwich. My sister ended up sending me groceries while I was moving. I didn't have pots and pans. I had sold my microwave at the previous place. Like I was moving. I was eating whatever I was eating. If I was eating, I was lucky, you know? And he's just like, bro, like you gotta stop eating sandwiches. And like it was funny at first, and then it became very judgmental. Like, that's not good for your health, and like you're not getting the nutrients that you need. And like, well, are you working out? And and I was just like going with it, like, well, I'm moving. And so like, I wasn't like testing him. I was giving ourselves both grace. He was saying some things that I wanted to pick at, to be honest with you. I wanted to know more. I wanted to be like, huh? I don't get that, what you just said. Or why did you say that? That makes no sense. Or why did you say that? It was rude AF. And I wasn't, because I was like, let me give this guy some grace. I'm getting to know him. I don't need to pick apart every single thing he said. He said some things about women that were concerning. He said some really weird thing about like a friend group should have every single type of person in there, like a fat friend, a dork friend, a retarded friend, a lawyer friend, a mechanic friend. Like, and I was like, and I just kind of was like, okay, if he like, by the way, like terrible things. I hate that he said those things, but I was just like, maybe that was like just a slip. Like, let me pay attention. If he says something like that again, I will definitely bring that up as a concern. But like that was, maybe he was just nervous or excited or something, because those are not things that I believe, and also not a lot of things that I say. So I finally said to myself, okay, like start questioning this guy. Start testing some of the things he was saying or his responses to me. So it all started with, I was on my way to work, and we would just send each other photos randomly throughout the day, like very childish, to be honest with you, like kind of Snapchat-ish, but not on Snapchat. So it started with, I sent him a photo of, I was on my way to work at 7:15, and if you're my boss, it was 6:55, and it was Knuck If You Buck was playing. And he was like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Why are you listening to Knuck If You Buck? It's 7 a.m. And I was like, there's never a wrong time for Knuck If You Buck. Like, hello, it's my theme song. And he was like, no, that's literally crazy. And I was like, okay, like maybe he's just being, funny about it. I let it go. That same night, we were talking on the phone. He's like, what are you doing this weekend? I said, I'm going to the Toby Wigway concert with my friends and their kids, who are my nieces. They're big fans. They're this age. They're young. They're so excited. Like, I got them sweatshirts, for Toby last year for Christmas. Like, it is going to be such a core memory. I'm so excited. His response was not like, oh my gosh, how fun. Like, how sweet. What a great idea. His response was, Toby's corny as fuck. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, first of all, if you have an opinion, that's totally fine. Like, we don't need to have the same taste in music. And by the way, if y'all know me, I'm really bad with music and movie quotes. Like, I only like a certain amount of artists. Like, I like artists, but like I can never sing their songs, or I just have that weird thing missing in my brain. We don't know what it's called, but something's missing. Like, for me to be so passionate about an artist, which I had told him this, like, let me live, bro. Let me live. So, the concert was great. He ended up asking why I didn't send him videos or photos of the concert. And I said, well, because he said he was corny and like you wouldn't enjoy that. Like, that seems really weird that you would even like, why would you want that, The next day. So I start firing back at Knuck If You Buck and Toby Wigway, which are like crazy small-ish like things to be combative about, if you will. Not combative, but just like test. The next day, we had this obedience conversation, and I'm not exactly sure how to do this. Did I do it right? But Lord help us. I had mentioned that my friends were coming over to help hang curtains. My friend and her boyfriend, I said. My friend and her boyfriend are coming over to help me hang my curtains, and my toilet has been running for a few days, so he's going to look at that for me. And basically, we got into this conversation because he was like, oh, wow, like, he's being obedient. And I was like, what a weird word to say. That's a crazy word to say. And he's like, no, like, we should all be obedient towards our partners. Like, you should be obedient towards me. I should be obedient towards you. And I was like, well, what does obedient mean? So we got into the scope of the conversation, and we agreed to disagree, like I mentioned at the top of the episode. I still don't totally agree, but I do see where he was coming from. Like, I said, what does obedient mean to you? Actually, I think he asked me that. And so I said, like, respect, trust, fine. But like, I wouldn't use the word obedient because like I took my dog to obedience training. We obey the law. Kids obey their parents. Like, for me, it's very dictatorship, and like I think it's the wrong word to use. And I said to him, if I heard you over in the corner talking to your friend and you were like, man, P's the best. I love her so much. She is so obedient towards me. What? I would flip my shit. Not in front of people because I don't like that. That's a bugaboo. But later on, I would be like, what were you talking about? Don't say that. And he's like, no, no, no. Like, I would say the same thing to you, like that I'm obedient towards you. And I was like, listen, like, we got to come up with a new word. We got to agree to disagree because I don't like that. So that was fine. The next day, oh no, this was the same day, I think. The same day I said, hey, okay, my friends are coming over. We've been playing phone tag. It was the next day. We're playing phone tag. And I said, we're playing phone tag. So while my friends are here, if I don't get back to you, I'll get back to you afterwards. Which, like, how kind of me, by the way. We were dating for 2 months and I'm like giving him that heads up. That's very nice. I'm not saying it's above and beyond. I'm just saying, like, it's pretty nice. That's like the right thing to do. And so I let him know that. So then he was texting me and calling me throughout. I had seen the messages, I had seen the calls, but I was hosting my two friends. I was trying to figure out where we needed the curtains hung. I was under my bathroom sink. There ended up being a leak. I ended up going to get an extra roll of toilet paper, and there was water under my sink. My friend's boyfriend was there. Thankfully, like, things are going on. Pedro's there. He's going crazy. Da 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 da. So they leave, and I end up responding to him, and I'm like, hey, I end up responding to all of his messages, one by one. And then I'm like, sorry about that. I wasn't on my phone at all. I was watching what Marco was doing in case I needed to do something with the toilet again. That is where, if the obedience conversation wasn't going to be the end of us, this is what was the end of us. And it surely was, my friends. It surely was. He said, you didn't have to say all that you weren't on your phone since 6 p.m. I said, okay, well, that's a weird thing to say. I had already let you know I wasn't going to be on my phone, that I would message you later. And he just said, basically, he knows that I was on my phone, that it's disheartening, foolish, and disrespectful. What? So I said, you know what? We're going to have to talk about this later because it's late at night and I'm exhausted. I have a huge week this week at my conference, so we'll talk about it later. Called me through my do not disturb and said, we're going to talk about it now, even though I said, no, thank you. He ended up talking about it for about 45 minutes. I was speaking till I was blue in the face. And basically what it came down to is, like, he took it very literally. I apologize for that. I said, I'm sorry that I wasn't on my phone at all. I was watching Marco for the toilet. I wasn't at the club, mind you. I was watching what Marco was doing with the toilet. He said, like, you're a content creator. I know you were on your phone. You're telling me you didn't video all that. It's not a big deal that you didn't text me back, but it's a big deal that you're lying about not being on your phone. I said, okay, I was on my phone. I Googled how to hang these Ishkaba curtains from IKEA. Okay? Like, you got me. I didn't mean to lie, but it just happened. So I apologized for that. And he said, I need you to admit that you lied. I said, I don't really feel comfortable with that. And I felt very, like, pushed into a corner. I felt like I was obviously on the defense. He speaks for like 4 to 5 minutes at a time. Then I get like 30 seconds, maybe a full minute in. And it's just, again, circle, circle, circle. So I was having a hard time. And you guys listen to me. Like, I say conversate. Like, I have a hard time speaking anyway. Sue me. So he ended up being like, I don't want to be rude, but have you been drinking? By the way, this man didn't drink. No problem. I didn't mind that. Never said anything to him about his non-drinking. That's completely fine with me. But I know that by you asking me that, it's coming from a judgmental place. And you, my lovely church boy, why are you so judgmental? I think we should not be. I think that's what they teach you. So calm your tits. He was very judgmental. I said, this entire time, I've been annoyed. And now I'm pissed. So I'm going to get off the phone. And we could talk about it tomorrow. I say to myself, Husa, you can figure this out tomorrow. It was just he was just being, he was just being a little much and you were being not enough and, like, it'll be fine. Everything was going so well. But then I started to think about, like, oh no, you're judging the shit out of me. And I don't like that. One thing about me, I am crazy. As most of my friends and family and fans adoringly call me. That's fine. I own that. Don't judge me. Like, I'm putting it all out there. Like, no, not okay with that. So he ended up texting me like nothing was wrong the next day, and that's what I didn't like. We're not going to pretend. We're not going to brush something under the rug because I've learned in therapy that we don't do that. Healthy relationships, we don't do that. So I said, hey, love that you had a cookie for breakfast, but I'm not really interested in talking about that. And I would love to talk about the fact that our conversation from last night, some of the things you said, like we definitely need to talk about it. Very long story short on this end, he ends up basically saying we're not able to connect at the time we can. So I said, hey, at this point I need some space because I have a big work conference this weekend. I'm not going to be able to give this conversation the time it deserves, so I need some space. Let's take some time, reflect, and we'll get back together this weekend. He showed his crazy, I'm telling you. Like, thankfully I asked for space because maybe I wouldn't have seen this. He texted, FaceTime, called, I don't know, anywhere from 60 to 90 times within the span of the week. All like, they were compliments, and then they were mean, and then they were backhanded compliments. They were like, wow, that is so manipulative of you to ask for space. It's an insult to my intelligence. Paige, text me back. I really like you. I really fuck with you. I don't want this to end. You're so great. Wow, you're so selfish. Like, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was crazy behavior. And to think I was still entertaining having a conversation with this man. Eventually, I ended up deciding that, like, nah, like, this is how you act. I cannot be. I felt very vulnerable, yes, but like I felt at risk. I felt like I was not safe. I felt like anything I said was going to be used against me. And again, back to these signs that I missed earlier, like, order this at lunch. I want this. No, order this. Like, oh, let's go on a walk. No, I want to play basketball. Like, everything was his terms. And I just started to feel really, like, unsafe about it. I think that's, like, a crazy word to use. Not unsafe like I was going to be abused, but, like, unsafe like I wasn't going to be able to be myself. The drinking, the one thing. The podcasting, the one thing. The being on my phone or not being on my phone is another thing. Like, it just got to be a little too much. So basically I ended up letting him know through text message, like, hey, at this point, I think that we both have better partners for us out there, and we need to move in that direction. Like, I'm just not interested in it. We have some fundamental differences that I'm not interested in continuing to figure out with you. And again, he continued to show his crazy, and I stopped responding and never blocked. You guys, I'm not a blocker. What's wrong with me? Why can't I block? Like, I never want to talk to this man again, but I feel like really what I think about is, like, if I block someone and then they, like, kill themselves, I'm the last person that they try to contact. Like, what if they needed help? Like, really, I do truly think about that. I just can't block. I can't block. So anyway, I haven't heard from him in quite a while. But it lasted for about 3 weeks after I sent that text message. In the end, obedience guy no more. Like, I just couldn't do it. I felt like I couldn't be myself. I felt like I was going to, like, I'm such a strong, loud personality that I felt like I was slowly dwindling, slowly shading what I was, like, we would go out and I did want a glass of wine, but instead I got a Topo Chico because he got a Topo Chico. And, like, that's fine. I don't need to drink all the time, but I just was kind of like, I don't like where this is headed. And some of the things he said about, the way that his religion and his culture and things like that. And I was just like, you know what? We have some fundamental differences that can't go on. So that's the end of Obedient Guy. I really thought we had something good there, y'all. I really did. He was nice at first. He was attractive. He was tall-ish. It's okay. The marathon continues. Let me take a big sip.
We are pro sex toys on Adultish Wines, whether it's for solo play, partner play, gift for a friend. I mean, I can personally vouch for Adam and Eve. I bought a sex toy or 20. Adam and Eve is giving Adultish listeners a spankin' deal. See what I did there? You get 50% off of one item, 3 special bonus gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping. And free discreet shipping, by the way. Go to adamandeve.com to get 50% off the one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping. That's ADULTISH at adamandeve.com.
Okay, let's do Whine or Fine, which is largely inspired by basically obedient guy, these ones that I picked. Basically, Whine or Fine is a game that we play. So if you like what I say and you're into it, then it's a fine. If you don't like what I say, then it's a whine. And we're gonna start drinking every time we say whine. Not that I have a problem drinking when I don't say whine, but do it with me. What are y'all drinking, by the way? I forgot to ask y'all that. Okay, dry dating, no alcohol on first dates. Okay, I'm not gonna take a sip because it's fine for me. I have done that many times. Even if it's a dinner date or activity date, we go play golf, we go play darts, we go bowling. We've done no drinks. That's completely fine for me, and I like it. It's kind of like you get a really sober look. You get a really sober look into the guy that you're talking to or the woman that you're talking to. Yeah, I'm into it. But I also do like having a glass or a drink before a date. It gives me a little edge. It gives me a little more confidence, and then I have a drink maximum on a date. Like I'm not drinking more than 2 on the date. So that's a total of 3 drinks. Hopefully I Ubered, Depends on the date, of course, but I think it's good. I'm probably going to err on the side of having a glass beforehand. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Dating for the plot. It's a whine. Dating for the plot. I know a lot of y'all think I date for the plot. I do not. I cannot wait to come to you guys with like a wedding announcement. Save the date, if you will, virtually. Maybe I'll be supportive of that. I don't know. I'm not dating for the plot. It's not my fault that I attract crazies. It's because I'm crazy too. I know. People tell me I attract chaos. But no, I'm not dating for the plot. I'm not dating for a meal. I am dating to find my person. And I just haven't found them yet. I know a lot of people date for the plot, and that's all on social media and stuff. But don't do that. You're wasting your own time. Acting like your situationship is your soulmate. Okay. I'm guilty drinking. It's a whine. You shouldn't do that. I do that all the time. I just perpetually think that I can make this situationship change. Like, no, we're perfect together. Love me. Choose me. But no, it's definitely a whine. It's not healthy. It's bad. I'm working on it in therapy. Situationships, like when did that word even, I guess what was it before situationships? It was just flings. Casual. It wasn't maybe even a word. You just knew what it was. But yeah, no, I am dangerously devoted to making sure that my situationships, I'm trying to make them a relationship and they just won't be. So I have to just quit. And I'm not ahead. I should quit while I'm very, very in last place. Ignoring glaring red bad signs so you don't have to get back on the market. Towards the end of Obedient Guy and I did have one little tiny thought where I said, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Let's look at what else is out there, Like maybe this is it for me. I don't want to get back out there. But don't do it. I've been waiting this long. I'm 35. Don't settle. Get back on the market. It's okay. Be with me. Come with me. That's creepy. But it's a whine, drinking. So basically, I thought that dating Obedient Guy felt peaceful. I mean, I was screenshotting, memes on Instagram about like how when you're dating someone, like they just make you feel at peace. I was waiting for the moment where I was gonna like announce I was dating someone officially and like post that screenshot of how I felt at peace. I didn't feel at peace. I felt shut down. I thought it was no drama. He's so quiet. He's so interested in me, but it was me being passive. So just because someone's not like literally throwing bombs at me, red flaring bombs, doesn't mean I should ignore the pinky ones, the pinkish red flags that are coming my way. And I definitely want a man who is going to let me order by myself at a restaurant or takes my suggestions from time to time. I want someone who challenges me for sure. Like I don't want this easy breezy um relationship where there's no confrontation, there's no discussion, there's no challenges. I want that. But I don't want a dictator. I want to order my food. I want to do what I want to do. Do you want to do what I want to do? No, you don't? Okay, you go do your thing. I'll do mine. We can meet up later. Or like, listen, we got a long life to live together. So, um, I don't want to have to like obey you or else. That's how I started to feel. So, um, I've just learned that, listen, I gave it a go. I gave it the old college try. But I'm not going to be with somebody who wants to change everything about me. That's what I realized. You can't change me. I don't want to be changed. So that's the story of Obedient Guy. Miners, are you okay? I know that you guys thought that this was the one for me. Look, I'm still trying to do this, but I have no nails. Um, it's sad, but we go back at it. We get back on the apps. We get back out there. I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. My famous last words. I'll just keep a smile on my face whenever I say that and just hope y'all believe me. Um, that's the end. Not the end for me. It's the end of the episode. I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to subscribe. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Leave a review. Leave a comment. Tell me what wine I should try next. And I can't wait to talk to y'all next Thursday. Love you. Bye.